Hello, my creative collective. This is your daily reading for April 6th for my daily creatives, my creative collective. We are just kind of in the middle of the week, so I hope your week has been going well, and I am going to dive right in. Okay, so here we go. I'd like to invite the angels, my spirit guides, my guardian angels, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that it is a safe space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, I'm going to grab a sip of water here from my gigantic jug. Okay, let's dive in, shall we? So, the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is where we're starting today. This is by Kelly Sullivan Walden. So, Spirit, can I please get some oracle messages here for my creative collective? Please and thank you. Ocean of emotion. Find a safe place to express your true feelings. Don't we all need that though, eh? Oh, the A. Oh my gosh. We all need that, truly though. We all need a harbor within which to sit. Plant seeds of intention. Go, grow, glow. That's a good spring card if I've ever seen one. It's like emotional intimacy that's really grounded in something real. Real just meaning important, meaningful to you. X marks the spot. See love in disguise. X marks the spot. See the love in disguise. Isn't that beautiful? X marks the spot. I almost feel like there's a way that you maybe 222 was just on the time that you haven't necessarily been as intentional as you may have wanted to be lately. There's like a bit of a disconnect emotionally, and that's sort of what's thrown you off of and made inaccessible to you this kind of intentionality that opens up not just your heart space, but also opens up your ability to really see, right? Because we see with our eyes, we see with our third eye, but we also see with our heart too. We see with our heart. And I think that this is where that sort of intention has had you, a need for intention has kind of left you feeling a bit adrift in this ocean of emotion, as it were. And I think that seeing the love in disguise, so seeing the hidden blessings, right? Seeing the hidden things around you, the things that aren't necessarily the easiest to find, but that it's like these perspective shifts, right? This is where we do integrative work. This is where we do transmutation of emotions, right? This is where all of that work comes together. And so this, I'm going to clarify this. I'm going to do the spread here with the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. So Spirit, can I please get some messages for my creative collective for April 6th, please? Thank you so much. 9 of Pentacles. That's beautiful. 9 of Pentacles. Look at that. Oh, joy, joy, and more joy. I also feel like this is like, it almost, I almost feel like this is like she's sitting in a colander after having been rinsed. Like she's just really really vibing because it's that refresh, right? Obviously 9 of Pentacles means confidence and things like that, but I almost feel like there's like a way that you've just been kind of cleansed, or you need to be cleansed, this ocean of emotion. Let's see how this unfolds, Spirit. Page of Cups. Unsurprisingly. 7 of Cups. Okay. I feel like there's this ocean of emotion. I don't know. 5 of Cups. 7 of Swords. Ace of Swords. Queen of Swords. 8 of Pentacles. Page of Swords, Ten of Wands, and Lovers. Oops. Okay. So the Lovers, or so the Nine of Pentacles here, you're kind of starting off the day on a confident note, or you're in the middle of the week on a confident note. There's something about your confidence not coming back necessarily, but there's something that you released. It could be that sometimes if you're having a really stressful day, just crying about it is really helpful. Like I'm a faucet some days, and that is super cleansing. It means that you're like things are flowing, right? It is how it all comes together and just works. And I think this Page of Cups here is sort of the call to dive into that ocean of emotion, right? I think that this is sort of the invitation. This could also be someone that ignites this within you. It could be something that ignites this within you. And the Seven of Cups, it's almost like you're not so sure. You're not so sure. And there's this sense of uneasiness about what emotions to trust. And, you know, it's this sense of almost needing to pull back and be in a little bit of air about it. The Five of Cups, this tells me that there's a way that you have, there's a way that you've been viewing emotions. And if you see them as, if you continue to see them in this really self-destructive way, it's really only going to continue to steal your voice from you. Like it's your authenticity, the things that make you, that give all of us delight to see you shine, all of this here. I just feel like that's, there's going to be a disconnect, I think. And the disconnect is this Seven of Swords, where it's sort of like this trickster energy, like you're playing tricks on yourself, by buying into this kind of Five of Cups idea. Like if this is the energy that could become a tower if it's not addressed, right? That minor inconveniences on the journey. But if it goes unchecked, like that Five of Emotions, that Five of Cups, that sort of, we think about Five of Pentacles as lack mentality. Well, this is sort of the way that plays out in your heart space. And I think that it's sort of, it makes it easy it's like, this is an element I'm seeing. So the reason, this is a lot of inward facing energy, and the Five of Cups and the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords tells me that there's this way that you've been kind of playing tricks on yourself, and it's allowed you to appear in one way to other people as this like very Queen of Swords energy, and very not cold, but stoic. Like you want to be this like steady Eddie energy. That just was like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to use that phrase. And it just came up anyways. Because I was like, it doesn't make sense. Anyways, it's like you've wanted to be that, and you almost feel like there's like this intimacy with your emotions and diving into the ocean of emotion, right? Find a safe place to express your true feelings. I almost feel like it takes away from your ability to do that. Like you need to find a safe place to stay in terms of a harbor that allows you to express emotionally, because it's going to connect you to your truth at the end of the day. And to avoid this, to Seven of Swords yourself about it, to take away that opportunity from you, from your light. It's only going to dim your light so that you won't be able to really see the truth of situations. You'll be disconnected from the truth of yourself. You'll be disconnected from the truth of other people as well, because what is unclear to us, because we're disconnected from, how can we see other people's truths clearly if we're not seeing our own, right? And then we have the Queen of Swords here in this kind of conflict position. And I think that this is where there's like the way that you may have thought other people would see you. And I say that because we have the Page of Swords here with the glasses, and I'll get to this energy, but I think that this is like perceptions, other people's perceptions, right? The little noises, the other people's perceptions. I almost feel like the conflict is that that you don't want other people to see you as anything other than the Queen of Swords, right? Because it's how people have kind of taken advantage of you. And the fortune after difficulty is being able to, I think that this is going to connect you even more to a deeper sense of self, and also to work your magic is what I just heard. Work your magic. But I really think that you have to kind of flip things on their head a little bit, with the Seven of Swords here. You have to flip it on its head and look at emotions a little bit differently, because even if we're in the midst of creative work or what have you, the relationship that we have to our emotions in it can really screw with the way that gets manifested. It can really screw with the way that gets manifested. The reason I say that is because this plants seeds of intention as well. It's hard to be intentional when you're disconnected from your truth. It's hard to be intentional when you're disconnected from your truth. And I think the Page of Swords is here to remind you that there's a clarity that comes from other people, but that sometimes you have to put the glasses on to see what you have to put the lenses on. You have to take ownership here. Are you seeing what other people want you to see, or are you seeing what you actually do see? Right? Are people seeing that version of you, or are they seeing the real you? And this is what you're kind of understanding as you go through this day and on this little bit of a vignette through it. And I think that the 10 of Wands and the Lovers is that you're making the right choice for yourself, right? You're making the choice, the path of least resistance is what Abraham Hicks calls it. And I quite adore that energy, because I think this is taking the path of least resistance, right? 11:11 on the time. So I think that you're leaving the burdens behind, and you're choosing something that feels a lot more free to you, and that is connected to your emotions, that is deeply connected. So I think that this is really great energy for you, but I think that this sort of authenticity piece is really important, right? It's safe to feel things. I get, as an air sign, we have a reputation of being super disconnected and more, intellectually inclined. And there are times where I do think about my emotions as opposed to feeling them. But overall, if you're not feeling it's so hard to be in balance anywhere else. It's so hard to be in a 9 of Pentacles energy, because you're always off balance, right? And I think that the 8 of Pentacles, so if it were, the flip side of this is working your magic, but then this can also show up in the reverse, where it's you're doing too much, and it can kind of throw you into a place where you do so much, partly because you're avoiding the emotions, but because your emotions are also an important key to not only manifesting, but being connected to spirit itself. Being connected to spirit comes through your emotions in some ways too, right? So don't talk yourself out of or take away from your capacity to be in that place either, right? So I'm going to go a little bit deeper here, and I'm going to clarify some of these details. So Spirit, and I'm doing so with the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. So Spirit, can I get some clarification here, please, for my wonderful creative collective? Thank you so much. April 6th, please. April 6th. Queen of Cups, yeah, definitely needing to connect. It's like walking a fine line. What you think emotionally, so I'm getting that this is what you think is your weakness is actually one of your greatest strengths, emotionally speaking. And that you may have felt like you could hide behind, or you could hide emotions, but they're coming. They're coming. And your ability to control your emotions. There's a difference between integrating and having healthy outlets for your emotions and trying to control your emotions, right? Healthy outlets make it seem like we're controlling our emotions, but they really just disconnect us from the truth of what we want, which is happiness and to feel free. To feel free, and that's where that truth, right? Connecting to your truth. I think that that's going to help you. It's going to help you feel free. There's going to be a sense of lightness with this. Oh my gosh, why is this not working? My shuffling is a hot mess. Today, at least. Spirit, can I get some more messages here? Yeah. It's understanding the difference between what you value and what you want. Queen of Cups, emotional integration, and King of Pentacles is not opposing energy, but it's still that value, right? Understanding what you actually want and what's important to you versus what's important to other people. And I think that is there's a discernment process, right? Sometimes it's a matter of asking why is this in my life? The contract, right? Why is this in my life? What is this doing here? But then other times it comes down to asking what you want, because sometimes it brings in a ton of conflict, right? There's a lot of conflict. but then other times it's a little bit more smoother sailing. And that's sort of understanding how to adjust your sails to ride on that ocean of emotion. And it's understanding that emotions do not disconnect you on your creative path and on your journeys through things. They actually deeply connect you, profoundly connect you. Yeah. And I think the key to learning, to understanding the balance, it's like walking the fine line. This is like, I'm almost getting like X marks the spot. See the love in disguise. Like this to me is not an X, but it's almost like this X marks the spot. The reason being that X marks the spot from this one here, right? X marks the spot. I just peeked over at it and then I saw the X right here. And then it's sort of X marks the spot. Rest will probably be a really important key for you. And rest not as in like, oh, let's sleep more. Like that, no, trust me, that is very important too. What I'm talking about here is this like bone deep rest, bone deep, that you give not just to your body, but to your mind as well. And to your heart. Give your heart a rest. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune, 6 of Cups. There's something about, it could be that this is like a past life impulse that you had. Past life impulse that you had. Oh my gosh. And this, so the reason why it's so, the world, okay, fine. I'll put these down. Thank you, Spirit. The reason why I say that is because the world is Saturn energy, and Saturn is kind of, that's like karmic things, that Saturn is seen in a way that's like things happening to us outside of our control. They're not things that are like cause and effect necessarily, like the wheel, but they're more so like things happening to us as a buildup of past life karma, as a buildup of karma from this life, or things that are balancing out. Like it is cause and effect in that sense, but there's a lot of it that is outside of our control, right? That's where some people can be like, oh, I'm so unlucky. And that can kind of play into this here. So I wonder, in part, if there's a need to meditate to get connected with past life energy, to really understand what it is that's stopping this flow of, or finding out why, you've gotten mixed up, like why your values have gotten mixed up here. Spirit, can I get some more messages here for my creative collective? Thank you. Yeah. Hanged Man again. So I got the 8 of Cups here, and that is, I think about this as sort of like spiritual path energy, but this is also probably, so to me, this would be if you were resolving past life issues, and you were kind of bringing them forward and understanding them, right? That's Neptune and Pisces energy. So I'm getting that you would really be understanding this energy more, and it's allowing you to, it's freeing you again, right on the Fool, right? It's, I don't know if you can see this here. It's on the Fool. So it's like, it's freeing you to move forward. Yeah. Because there's a way that you felt kind of stuck, but it is freeing you. It's freeing you up. Got that one there. Yeah. Yeah. 5 of Cups. It's easy to feel really sorry for yourself, but please resist the urge, because it just is a waste of energy, especially when like there's momentum afoot. So resist the urge to be in a 5 of Cups about it, because it's not really, it's not that you need like productive energy. It is that you are moving towards something far more meaningful for you, and that is the important part here. Spirit, what else do you have for me? 4 of Wands again. Oh, I'll put that here, right? Yeah, there's like a new contract, transformation, new contract on the Fate and the kind of past life card that I pulled here. I feel like there's a transformation that's taking place within this kind of plot line today, and it could be consistent, it could be ongoing, it could be something that's just like drop in the ocean, as it were, a drop in the ocean of emotion. But I think that there's a bigger ripple effect that it's having because of the Death here, and it's really opening up a new way of understanding things, a new way of it's almost like reading tea leaves, and the tea leaves at the bottom of the cup, right? And it's, you're better able to read those tea leaves for, oh, Page of Cups. Yeah, yeah. You're better able to read those tea leaves for like what they offer you. Definitely for what they offer you. Can I get just some more messages here for my creative collective for April 6th? 6 of Pentacles. Interesting. I think that that's sort of, I'm almost getting that there's like a rebalancing taking place. That's really, it's opening you up. It's that freedom. Yeah, 9 of Cups and the Hermit. So we have the 9 of Cups, Hermit, you know, that sort of rebalancing, the kind of walking the path and sort of moving away from this and freeing yourself. 10 of Cups and the Fool card clarified by the 8 of Cups and then the 9 of Cups and the Hermit. So there's a lot of wisdom in this for you. And I think that the biggest part of the journey is going to be trusting in the way that this shows up every day to you. The 6th house is Virgo, and that is the Virgo card. And the 6th house is kind of like so the first 5 houses are really about like personal effects, while the others are more, I guess, like collective impacts and group oriented. Though the last 2, Aquarius and Pisces, are like some of the most collective impact, like the higher octave planets, I guess you could say. There are others too, but the way that I'm understanding it in terms of houses and how it can kind of creep into these readings, lately at least. I know it's not the definitive answer, so don't think that. I'm not getting up in any other astrologer's grill by saying that. What I'm trying to articulate here, though, is that this is sort of like the 6th house is like the one of the final integrations of all of the lessons of the earlier houses, right? And it is sort of the assimilation and integration of that energy as you move into more group collective efforts. And I think that this emotional energy that you're better understanding how to balance and work with is the integration piece it's resisting, it's letting go of the resistance to have it look neat and tidy, right? Virgos, the kind of shadow part of Virgo, I guess, could be like a tendency towards obsessing over the details or needing everything to be a specific way, like that orderliness at the cost and price of freedom. And I think that sort of emotions aren't tidy. They're not supposed to be, my darlings, my loves. They're not supposed to be. They can be. And this isn't to say like they're, wrecking ball emotions are great. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. 2222 is just on the time. What I'm saying here is that there is a way that you can handle emotions. So Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg is an excellent book, and it talks about the difference between opinion and emotion and how we articulate that in conflict and when we need to express our needs. And I almost feel like this Cups energy is the synthesis of the earlier, like the lessons of all of the earlier houses. And it's like, this is big time healing. This isn't quite the star card, but I can recognize the star in the lantern there. And I think that this is, really good energy, not just because it's transformative and it's really showing letting go and rebalancing. Like this is like major karmic rebalancing to me, which is great, right? Wherever that finds you in your day. And not karmic rebalancing at the cost of anyone else. Like I disbelieve in this idea that we have to get revenge and that's how we can move forward. The reason being is that means that, just this idea, like even thinking like, oh, they'll get theirs. It binds up your energy and associates it with like your happiness is, the extent of your happiness and the reach of your happiness is limited by how much revenge the world is exacting on the people who wronged you. And that doesn't feel good to me, right? It just doesn't feel good to me. Cause like I've had a lot of people do me dirty. Like it's happened. But there's also this kind of feeling of, there's also this feeling that like that shouldn't be what you think of. Like it's sort of processing the emotion, and not to should on you. I don't mean it that way. My wonderful creative collective. What I'm talking about is that feel it if it's a way that you process your emotions. But then when it comes down to like the big picture, it's like you're not in forgiveness if you're still waiting for someone to get theirs. You're not in forgiveness and compassion and empathy for others if you're still waiting for them to get theirs. Because it means that you're still waiting for them to get theirs, which is like you're waiting for harm to befall them. And it's a sign that you're still hanging on, right? But what are you hanging on to? Like, are you hanging on to the light of wisdom, or are you hanging on to conflict? Are you hanging on to this idea that karma is going to balance in your favor and that's what's going to make you win, right? Or is it just that you're worthy, period? What are you reaching for most, and what are you most aware of, right? Plant seeds of intention. What's the first part of that? Go, grow, glow. I think this intentionality is really important, right? And also, you deserve to have manifestations in your life that are not affected by or touched by this, like, that are not touched by this, this idea that they'll get theirs either. I don't know why that's coming up so much. Like, I do these readings about a week ahead so that I can continue to do this and give guidance, and also to stay on track with work and all of my other obligations and things. And so people might be like, that's disingenuous. Well, that's fine. I'm happy for you. But what I'm seeing here, I'm trying to pull this together in the context of the readings done already. And it's, to me, showing, I almost feel like you have to lean into the transformation. You have to lean into the transformation, my loves. My creative collective, yeah. I feel like the reason why I'm taking a pause here is just because I feel like it's not going to be easy, and that it hasn't been easy. But there's this like emotional, and I almost feel like the page here, it feels to me like inner child energy. Like there's this part of you, this inner child part of you that is just longing to be free. Longing to be free. Fool, 10 of Cups, Ace of Swords. But I feel like it's been trapped by this kind of spin, this cyclical spin that's been happening with your emotions. And I think that it's a pretty profound healing, but rest as well is the key. Rest, and sometimes resting your mind, right? Like doing things that will give your mind the reprieve that it needs. That beautiful brain of yours, that beautiful heart of yours. Give it a break, right? Remember to give it a break. Okay, so Spirit, can I get some more clarification here? This is from the Miracles Now deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. Thank you so much, Spirit. Whoa. My eyes will see what I desire. Ain't that the truth? My eyes will see what I desire. Do you desire conflict, or do you desire peace? And, I think about this too, like sometimes people don't know the whole stories of something. They don't understand the full context, and the assumptions that we make are great indicators of where we're vibrating. Because if we're seeing conflict, or if we're seeing like, I don't know, if we're seeing like, I'm thinking about something that one of my friends told me. I'm not going to spill their tea, but if we see third parties somewhere, or we see stuff like that and we really don't know, and then it doesn't end up being it, we've already projected that label onto the thing, right? And we've already associated that. So instead of speaking to the person where they are and with whom they actually are, we're projecting our own wounds onto that person. So your eyes will see what you desire. And if what you desire is to be freed from the feeling of old past wounds, then that's what's going to show up is the wounds, right? Not because you want the wounds, but because they need to be healed first in order to kind of have clear vision. That Page of Cups, or Page of Swords, sorry. That you need that clear vision. So they're going to keep showing up. And it's like, and I even fall into this too, where I'm like, oh, well, they meant that. They meant this a certain way. And it's like, no, that's not always true. And until you talk to that person specifically, well, you can't know. But all of these dynamics create, and sometimes people do lie. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, just, innocently and naively. No, sometimes people do lie. And sometimes people are very hurtful, and they're so intentional about it. It's ridiculous. What I'm talking about here is the way that we project our own worries and insecurities onto others, which limits how much we can actually see of them. And that restricts our desire, because what we may want in a situation or with a person, or in a space, or in a career or a creative project, or however we see this, it really prevents us from seeing that person as they are, because we're seeing only what we want to of a situation, only what we want to of a situation. And so what that means is your eyes will see what you desire. So if you're desiring peace and you're seeing conflict, and there's no conflict that's actually there, but there could be clarity with conversation, or there could be clarity with, I don't know, just there could be clarity with, well, really conversation, I think pretty much solves everything. Once that clarity is there, it's really hard to make the wrong assumption, because assumptions really are just, they're not the truth, right? They're what we see. So I feel like this is like a huge aside. But anyways, my eyes will see what I desire. So run with that today, my creative collective. I feel like there's a lot of ways that can come through and work for you. So I'm going to pull from the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. Spirit, can I get some notes from the universe on love and connection here, please? And thank you so much. You were born with that it quality. You were born with that it quality. So don't doubt yourself, right? Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt that people would, not want to hear your emotions, right? This almost to me looks like an iris, of like a cosmic iris. So it's almost like, remember that you were born with something in you that is, not to be like, that's special, but I think that it is, right? You're here for a reason. And I think that part of that reason is it is more easily accessible to you when you are clear about your emotions and when you're able to express them in a way that respects and honors you. Spirit, can I get some additional messages here from my creative collective, please? You'll find what you seek. You'll find what you seek. If you've ever suddenly found and been loved by someone amazing, awesome, fun, and fantastic, chances are astronomical you will again. If you haven't yet found such a person, chances are astronomical you will. It's up to you, the universe. Yeah. You'll find what you seek. So be very mindful of what you're looking for. My eyes will see what I desire. Like, this is really, I think the universe is saying this. Your emotions are kind of screwing with your ability to see things. So it's like balancing that is going to get you really, really clear. It's going to get you so clear. And I think that's going to help not just with creative stuff, but in love and relationship, all of it. So my darling creative collective, this is for you for April 6th. Yeah, summarized by this one. Pucker up, buttercup. So I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated for you and you liked it, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel and to continue to do this, which is something I happen to love to do, just to be a channel for spiritual guidance and to bring all of that here in your best and highest good. And if there's anything else that resonates on the channel, we do have other offerings. So there is the daily readings, there's monthly energy readings, there's also astrologically related readings, and now timeless. So that's very exciting. So if this is where we part, though, my daily creatives, I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day. Take care.